Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that I've always mentioned on this platform as by the way. But today I think it's relevant. I've always believed that in 2022, the Supreme Court judges punished Raila Odinga for the mistakes he committed in 2017. In 2017, Raila Odinga contested for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya against Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta was the sitting president at that time, having been elected in 2013. As fate would have it, IEBC declared Uhuru Kenyatta as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Raila Odinga disagreed with IEBC. He went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court agreed with Raila Odinga and nullified the election of Uhuru Kenyatta. The truth of the matter is that Uhuru Kenyatta was the president at that particular time. He was the sitting president. And Uhuru Kenyatta promised to revisit. The Supreme Court judges were very angry with Raila Odinga after Raila Odinga failed to participate in the ensuing election. They were very angry and they were very bitter and they were exposed. And of course, Justice Maraga is still very bitter with Uhuru Kenyatta up to now.
Watu waine ati ndio watakuja waseme kulikuwa technicality. Ati wananchi milioni 15 hawatarudia kura 6, watarudia kura 1. Sasa wewe jameni, hata ukiwa mjinga namna gani, jiulize. MCA amepigiwa kura, imekuwa transmitted. Mama County amepigiwa kura, imekuwa transmitted. Muna mtu ameuliza swali, mjumbe amepigiwa kura, imekuwa transmitted. Kuna mtu amesema wameapishwa wote. Senator amepigiwa kura, imekuwa transmitted. Kuna mtu amesema lolote. Governor amepigiwa kura, imekuwa transmitted. Lakini kura ya rais iko na shida. Ati imekuwa transmitted. Iko na shida, transmission iko na shida. Na huyo mtu mwenyewe ndio ametuma majaji kila kona, 47 counties, ati kushuhudia kuapishwa kwa magavana. Wacha nicheke kwa sababu nafikiri kwa sababu ya hizo nguo wanavaa wanaona Wakenya wengine ni wajinga. Explain to me. Explain to me. Jamani. Wacha tuseme tu ni wapenda amani, kwa sababu kama sio wapenda amani wangeona cha mtema kuni. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Lakini sasa and I have always said we have a problem with our judiciary, but regardless we respect, but we shall revisit. We shall respect, but we shall revisit this agenda. Oh yes.
The reason is bitter with Uhuru Kenyatta because Uhuru Kenyatta really frustrated the Supreme Court judges. So the Supreme Court judges waited for Raila Odinga because they knew Raila Odinga was going to be on the ballot in future. And of course, you also remember that along the way, Maraga retired, and one of the judges who really stood with Raila Odinga at that time, Mpesa, also wanted to become the Chief Justice. But what happened? They ended up appointing Martha Koome. So those Supreme Court judges, the likes of Philomena Mwilu, Jokin Dungu, because they felt they needed that position. Remember, there was Uko, who Uhuru actually wanted. I'm told there was a strong feeling that he was the right person for the Supreme Court. Raila Odinga, according to those who are in the know, believed that there was no way the Supreme Court, I mean, the Chief Justice would come from the Luo Nation, and it's also the president. So they waited for Raila Odinga in 2022, and they punished Raila Odinga heavily. That is what is awaiting William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Earlier this week, Rigathi Gachagua stated very clearly that at exactly 2:15 p.m. he was going to personally present a petition against one of the judges, Esther Maina. Because according to Rigathi Gachagua, let us not get there, let us listen to Rigathi Gachagua.
Tutoe ushahidi. I will lead by example. On Thursday, this coming week, at 2:15, I'll personally present a petition before Lady Chief Justice Martha Koome against Justice Esther Maina for her removal from the judiciary for misconduct and corruption. Mimi mwenyewe nitaongoza. Because sasa unajua sasa si ametuuliza. Sasa tuko tayari, mimi ndio nitaongoza kwa executive. Huyo judge through corruption declared my hard-earned wealth proceeds of crime without giving me an opportunity to be heard. Against the rules of evidence, where he who alleges must prove. We made an application to cross-examine the investigator, akakataa kwa sababu anajua there is no case. Na evidence tuko nayo vile ilifanyika. So 2:15 on Thursday, my lawyers are preparing, mimi mwenyewe, because he has challenged us. I think now tufanye kazi sasa. Si tufanye kazi.
And of course, majority of Kenyans really laughed at Rigathi Gachagua because they knew that Rigathi Gachagua was just out to please the challenging audience he was addressing. But there was no way Rigathi Gachagua was going to go to before Martha Koome to present a petition, because that petition was going to make the downfall of Kenya Kwanza. And I remember the next day he was in Bomet. Again, he issued a serious threat.
Na ndio tunamwambia ile watu wanacheza na huyu rais wetu. Huyu amechaguliwa na Wakenya. Alipigiwa kura moja kwa moja 7.2 million. Watu wamelala kwa manyumba tofauti, wamekutana bila kuongea, wameamua ni yeye. Alafu watu wako pale kotini, kuna mtu amewapigia kura. Alafu wanataka kusimamisha kazi ya rais. Nyinyi mnataka rais aendelee na kazi, asiendelee? Ajenge manyumba, asijenge? Apunguze NHIF kutoka 500 mpaka 300, asipunguze? Mnataka asikise hiyo ujinga ya kotini?
So today, Kenyans really waited for Rigathi Gachagua to keep his promise and appear before Martha Koome. Martha Koome did not even leave her office. She was waiting for Rigathi Gachagua. Security was beefed up at the Supreme Court. Rigathi Gachagua never appeared anywhere near the Supreme Court. But he issued a statement that because of the alleged dialogue that William Ruto had requested between the Supreme Court, between the judiciary and the executive, he was not going to appear. But deep down, it's a known fact that there are reasons why Rigathi Gachagua never appeared before Martha Koome. So in this video, I want to reveal to you guys the possible reasons why Rigathi Gachagua chickened out from appearing before Martha Koome. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. And let us begin by listening to what this lawyer told Rigathi Gachagua.
Because if he has any evidence, he should submit it to JSC, to abuse a judicial officer. That is the most hard-working judicial officer that we know. Her integrity is beyond question. She's like Caesar's wife. She's the most hard-working. And she made that decision on the basis of facts and the law before her. But Mr. Gachagua knows that they manipulated the process after they acquired power in the Court of Appeal and swore in new affidavits. Gachagua should stop this nonsense. He is behaving like a village boy, and he must stop it. He has to respect the judiciary. And I'm saying this because the next time we are going to appeal, to campaign until Gachagua is impeached, because he's too incompetent. He doesn't know how the arms of government operate. He has no protocol, he has no rules, he has no guidelines. He's just a rogue state officer. So,
but why do you think Rigathi Gachagua failed to appear or to file the petition? Because they've been challenging the judiciary. Through Martha Koome, they were very clear that for them, there's a process and a procedure of filing complaints. And that if anyone has any complaint against any member of the judiciary, there's a procedure. So Rigathi Gachagua decided, okay, that's what you want, I'm coming. He never appeared. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua never appeared? For me, 3 or 4 reasons only. Number one, Rigathi Gachagua and Kenya Kwanza realized that they were actually playing in the hands of the judiciary. That's what judiciary wanted. They wanted Kenya Kwanza to go to them. Then they were going to review the ruling. For example, for Rigathi Gachagua, the judge indicated clearly that the money were proceeds of corruption. So definitely a judge cannot just wake up and indicate like that. So they wanted now to go through that ruling. And probably Rigathi Gachagua was not going to have anywhere to put his head. That is the fact. Because these guys were going to produce evidence. And just like it's normal, if Rigathi Gachagua had issues with that ruling, he ought to have appealed. He never appealed. So they realized that please don't go there. If you go there, these guys are going to roast us. And of course, it was very clear from the onset that there was no way Rigathi Gachagua was going to make that mistake, because they were going to play in the hands of of the judiciary. Number 2 is the political implication of that move. Okay, you are going before the judiciary. For what? They made a ruling. For what? The case, Kenyans had actually forgotten about it, because Kenyans are like what, they forget very fast. They move on to the next thing. Like you see, in the past 1 or 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of unfortunate events. There was that lady, Airbnb. Then there was the lady at the TRM. There was the other one, Roy Sambu. They keep on forgetting. Currently, we have the Kwamboka issue, Kwambox. So Kenyans keep on forgetting. So it was going to remind the Kenyans. So they feared the political implication of that case. What was the case going to reveal to Kenyans again? Because of course, so many people were going to be interested in that matter. The law society were going to be part of it. And of course, because of the friction, it was going to be serious litigation, because the judiciary is supposed to be about the law, not the politics. But for politicians, they were going to take advantage of that. Number 3, if Rigathi Gachagua had gone and filed the petition, then Kenyans are going to conclude that Kenya Kwanza are vindictive. It was going to portray Kenya Kwanza in bad light. Why? Because why would Rigathi Gachagua, who is accused of corruption, be the one to go to file petition? Probably in a good strategy, they would have looked for someone with the credible evidence, because it's just a matter of proving that indeed there's corruption in the judiciary. Simple. Yes, that's simple. And of course, there's a lot of corruption in the judiciary. So they can even find some small judge here who is corrupt and raise the issue. But now you see, Rigathi was like very specific to his matter, in which there are evidence. So it was going to portray Kenya Kwanza in that light. And of course, lastly, probably they feared that more evidence, more people were going to enjoin the matter. And therefore, for their political survival, it was a bad move. There was no way Rigathi Gachagua was going to appear before Koome. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny.